What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast.
It's RJ's turn.
Oh, RJ's turn? All right, hit him up.
Hey, we're going back. We're going back to the podcast. Yelling too. It's RJ gonna play Zelda.
We're not going to play Zelda. We're doing a podcast. And you probably blew out everyone's ears doing that. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the podcast, guys. We have a decent set of news to share with y'all and some new content to talk about that I got to digest this past week. And now RJ's got nasty RJ spit or snot or a combination of the two on the microphone, so I'm probably going to be sick forever. Anywho, with that being said, that's pretty much all we got. Let's get into the Nifty Nerd News. All right, guys, up first in the Nifty Nerd News section of the podcast, Microsoft is bringing 4 Xbox exclusive titles to Sony and Nintendo. It's a trial thing that they're working on. Rumor has it it's going to be the 4 games that are rumored to be going over. Pentiment, I think is what one's called, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, and Sea of Thieves. Now, Sea of Thieves, I know, is a very, extremely, super popular game. I've heard Grounded's pretty fun. I've seen a lot of people play that. I didn't know that Sea of Thieves and Grounded were Xbox exclusives. And so I know people play it on PC a lot and really enjoy it. I think having those games go over to a new console could be exciting for those console players. Phil Spencer, who's like in charge of everything, thinks that there's most likely going to be a shift away from as many, if not all, console exclusives, where like as the times and the hardware just keeps getting better and better, and it just makes more sense not to. I mean, for what Phil Spencer's talked about with the Microsoft and Xbox model is that, I mean, they own Activision, Blizzard, and all that. So like games like Call of Duty and stuff, like those are their big money makers, not so much the console exclusives. So they're thinking if we can get our exclusive games no longer exclusive and on other titles, it's going to bring even that much more revenue, because let's face it, Xbox does and Microsoft do make some pretty good games. They've even talked about how maybe down the future we could see stuff like Flight Simulator, who knows, even some bigger titles. Right now, from what Spencer has said, they're really just trying to test the waters with these 4 exclusives first, and then move forward. And who knows, maybe this might encourage Sony or Nintendo. Well, I doubt Nintendo ever will. Nintendo doesn't even go down on their prices on games, even if they've been out for 100 years. But Sony maybe will be willing to play nice. Also, they had hinted that this holiday season they might have some new hardware announcements, which could be really exciting, and possibly either new controller devices or even a handheld device, which that one has me very intrigued, because I've always been interested in getting a Steam Deck, and I still want a handheld computer, to play Steam games, and there's some that I really like that I want to play and like take with me on the road. But if Xbox is willing to put something out that isn't my phone that sucks ass to play these games on, that could be a really good thing for me down the line. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm excited for this holiday season. Also, since we're talking about gaming, another thing I'm excited for, EA has announced that college football is back. Starting in 2025, the EA college football games are coming back. Last game it's been over 11 years. The last game came out 2014, And I got to be honest, man, I always preferred playing the college football over the Madden games. There was just something more entertaining about college football. It was just, to me, it was a more fun gaming experience, while maybe not quite as detailed and and like intricate as the Madden games have gotten. I mean, it's been 11 years, so adding what they've learned from Madden into the college football game and then adding the atmosphere of college football on top of that, I think is going to make it the superior football game going forward. I mean, this was the game me and my friends played all the time. Like, I mean, we liked Madden, don't get me wrong, but we loved college football, man. So I'm super stoked for this to come back, and I'm probably going to end up getting it, man. Like, if there's a football game I'm going to get, it would be the college football one. And then I play as University of Houston and start wrecking on fools. Because it's like, you get like teams that aren't always the best. Like that's what I do. Like when I play FIFA and stuff, I always try to get like the worst team I can find, put it in like the bottom of the English Premier League, and work my way up to the Premier League and like in the champions and all that. And like that's the fun thing. So like taking a college football team, whether it's the worst team or just a team you like that isn't the best, and then working the way up to be like number one in the nation, that is like the most fun thing to do. But yeah, so that's it for gaming news. Moving on to some movie stuff. So the Thunderbolts movie from Marvel has finally released a cast list. The actors I don't know too much about, but I'll read off the characters that they're playing, and you'll probably know them better than I do. So we have the Winter Soldier, of course, by Sebastian Stan. Ghost, who was it Ant-Man? Yeah, one second Ant-Man movie, right? No, what was Ghost in? Ghost, I could have swore it was an Ant-Man movie. Am I tripping? It was Ant-Man 2. Yeah, okay. Because Ant-Man and the Wasp is the third Ant-Man movie, right? Oh my God, where am I? Anyway, moving on from Ghost, U.S. Agent makes a return, of course, from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show. Yelena Belova, which was Black Widow's sister, who reprises the Black Widow role. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who is like, I guess she would be what was her name? Viola Davis for the Suicide Squad. I feel like she's like that version of this character. Anyway, moving forward, you have Sentry, which is going to be really interesting to me. Red Guardian, which is John Harbaugh, which from the Black Widow movie, so I'm really excited about him. Taskmaster, which is also from the Black Widow movie. Bill Foster, I don't know what role he's going to play. Is it going to be Giant Man? Is he just going to be like an advisor for the team? Really interesting. Melina Vestakov, not sure who that is. And then, of course, everyone knows about Harrison Ford playing Thunderbolt Ross, a.k.a. the Red Hulk. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be probably one of the big bads, or like start as a good guy, become the Red Hulk, and then start as a bad guy. I'm speculating he dies in this movie because Harrison Ford is not getting any younger. So just have him come in to play this one role, perish at the end, and then, you can move forward going on to that. But I'm pretty excited to see how that plays out. What's been interesting, though, is this movie, Thunderbolts, has actually swapped release dates with another movie. So this one was pushed back to May, or no, it was pushed up. That's right. It did swap roles with another movie, but this one was pushed up to May 2025. And that's because in June of 2025, we are getting Fantastic Four, with now our set cast list, and the rumors were true. Pedro Pascal is your new Reed Richards, and it looks like that this is going to take place in like the 60s time period, and I think they're going to Captain America it, where the family either gets trapped somewhere, maybe the negative zone. I mean, we have been playing with the quantum realm with Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we know time moves a little differently down there, so maybe the quantum realm is what brings them forward in time, much like what happened to Captain America was frozen in time, so I guess that's a little different. But being able, like, there's precedent for this to happen. Of course, we have, like I said, we could use the negative zone for something, black hole stuff. Like, I mean, the comics are limitless with different ways to move people around. But to round out the rest of the cast, we have Vanessa Kirby, who will be playing Sue Storm, Ebon Moss Bachrach. I don't know if I said that guy's name right. He will be the Thing, and playing Sue's brother Johnny will be Joseph Quinn, aka Eddie from Stranger Things. So, you know, maybe he'll shred on guitar or something. I don't know, but I think he'll be an interesting. This is a very interesting cast. Not other than Pedro Pascal when he was mentioned and rumored. Like, none of these other people, nowhere near my radar. But then again, like, I don't think I was ever fan casting for this movie very much. I feel like Marvel's done a pretty damn good job of casting people in these roles that they either can bring out their own personality or their personalities already kind of line up with how these characters appear in the comics. And so it's just like a match made in heaven. I'm looking at you, Tony Stark. Well, Robert Downey Jr. I called him Tony Stark because that's just how much he's embodied that character. Enough so where Christopher Nolan was like, this was like the most consequential casting of movies ever. You know, if it wasn't for this and it wasn't for Marvel movies, we wouldn't, like, theaters may have never survived the COVID era. Like that's high praise, man, for not only Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, but for Marvel for casting him and taking the chance on him. So I feel kind of confident in that Marvel knows what they're doing when they're bringing in the people that they do. More on that in our final segment. But the last thing I want to round things out with for the nifty nerd news is Marvel once again on Disney Plus has announced they are bringing back X-Men 1997, or well, X-Men 97. I don't know why I went with the 19 of it. Like, it makes it too professional. X-Men 97 coming back. I'm super stoked to see this. You get the iconic and gets you so hyped, dude. It gets you excited. Like, as a kid growing up and hearing that on the TV, it was pretty badass. From what I can tell, though, they're kind of just looks like they're picking up where the last episode ended. And what's weird is I don't remember ever watching the last episode. And so from the looks of it, Professor Xavier is dead. Cyclops is now leading the team. But Magneto shows up, and it turns out in Charles Xavier's will, he left everything to Magneto, man. So what does that mean for the team? What does that mean for the X-Men? Does that mean they're going to be evil? Does that mean Magneto's going to try to be a hero? I'm kind of excited to see how this all plays out because anything could happen. Anyway, that's it for the Nifty Nerd News, guys. Thank you for sticking around for that. Let's get into what I wanted to review and talk about this week. All right, guys, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is a movie that has finally made its way to Disney Plus, which means it's finally made its way to where I don't have to pay extra for it, and I will finally watch it. That movie is The Marvels from Marvel Comics, or Marvel Studios. Of course, The Marvel stars Brie Larson as Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, Teyonah Parris, who plays Monica Rambeau, and then Iman Vellani, I always struggle at saying her name, who plays Kamala Khan, aka my favorite, Miss Marvel. Then you have other people like Sam Jackson that's in it. Of course, the lovely family of Kamala Khan, which everyone is. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So, pretty cool stuff. It's always so interesting because all I ever heard of from this movie was just how much people hated it. Just hate. It had Brie Larson in it. We're going to hate it. Had Kamala Khan in it. We're going to hate it because they represent everything that they hate. I don't know, man. Captain Marvel, when that first movie came out, that was under so much hate as well. watched it. I enjoyed it. It's not the best movie that's ever been put out, but man, it was enjoyable. Kamala Khan and the Miss Marvel series, that was just, I guess, angry white people mad that a person of color was having a good time. I don't know, because Miss Marvel series was absolutely fantastic, and that got hate as well. This movie received quite a bit of hate, and I got to tell you, it was a damn good time. There was no, it's not like God's gift to movies or anything like that, but it's a fun movie that's enjoyable. It doesn't feel like it's terribly paced. It moves and it's fun and it makes you laugh, and it does, it sets out to do what it needs to, and that's entertain people. And the fact that people just got butt hurt over it, I honestly, I don't understand. I don't understand this ideal where people need to hate something first, or their initial reaction to anything is one of apprehension and dislike, instead of just sitting back and enjoying a movie for what it's supposed to be, and that's entertainment. Because I gotta tell you, I guess it's kind of a spoiler on my review, it's an entertaining movie. I really much enjoyed it, and I will say this, though. This movie is as good as it is because of Kamala Khan, the actress who plays Kamala Khan, and her family. They 100% make this movie the enjoyable, superhero fest that it is. And to add to that, though, the chemistry between Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan, as they are learning about their powers, they're learning about how to fight together, they're learning about their personal lives and the traumas that they have and the successes that they have, and how to just be more open with themselves. It's a good movie, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very enjoyable. Really, a quick rundown of it is, at some point, Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel end up using their powers at the same time, and that causes, no, it wasn't Captain Marvel. It was Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel end up using their powers at the same time, causing them to swap places in space. So Kamala Khan, who is just chilling with her family or in her room having a good old time, switched places with Monica Rambeau, who is out in space looking at a jump port. And that is probably the most terrifying thing that could happen to you if you're just sitting in your room enjoying your own life, and then all of a sudden, darkness of space, flying through it, freaking out. But oh, hey, Nick Fury's there, so at least you got that going for you. So it's really funny. And then some aliens get involved and they start fighting each other, which causes some hilarity when characters are now swapping spaces, but when they're holding on to people, they get swapped with them. So bad guys are being thrown into Kamala Khan's family's living room and all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's kind of the catalyst, because the house gets trashed. That is kind of the catalyst for what moves the family with Kamala Khan into space, and to have them with everyone to be the comedic relief, and also to be the family unit, which is really nice. And it's great to have a family where, people aren't dead like most Marvel heroes have. And so it's just so much fun. It's enjoyable. They are dealing with an enemy who is trying to use the power of Kamala's bracelets, because Kamala has one, but it's a pair, and the other pair belongs to an evil person who, while may not be as evil as she could be, or she's evil, but she has a point. Captain Marvel, at the end of her movie, destroys the Kree superintelligence, which was basically a shadow government ruling over everything in the background. So Carol finds out about it, finds out that it took all her memories away from her, and so destroys it. But that ends up completely shattering the Kree Empire and everything that it built, throws it all into a crazy civil war, and causes just countless atrocities through as a result of her destroying the superintelligence, and then the Kree Civil War, where this planet where the main bad guy comes from, or bad woman comes from, is devoid of resources, has a dying son, and has nothing, like doesn't know, like has to do crazy things using the power of this bracelet, bangle, whatever you want to call it, to try to bring their planet back to life and bring their son back to life. And so that is what they're doing. Basically, it's Spaceballs, the movie. They need atmospheres, so they go to one planet, steal the atmosphere using like a warp jump point to transfer that to their planet, and then they're going to the sun to transfer the sun's energy to their sun's energy, or like they're going to steal the sun. I don't know. They're going to kill Earth, basically, to save their home planet. And, the Marvels have to stop that. So it's a pretty fun story. It like I said, it moves really quickly. There's some really hilarious moments in there involving Goose the cat, Goose is not a cat. I forget. It's Flurgan, I think is what he is. Crazy, scary cat alien monster that can eat just about anything. But as it turns out, that might be what saves a bunch of people, which was actually a really hilarious scene in the movie. But of course, by the end of it, the day is saved. But there is some sacrifice that has to be made by the end of the movie. I don't want to spoil it too much, but that also leads us into a really awesome end credit scene where one of the characters meets someone from the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness universe, like where the Illuminati universe is, and they meet. I mean, we knew Charles Xavier was part of the Illuminati in that one. They meet now Kelsey Grammer's Beast in that one as well. So very interesting, and I'm kind of excited to see where that takes the story going forward, because one, this member is no longer a part of the main Marvel storyline or timeline, whatever you want to call it. So how are they going to get back? Of course, we know things with the multiverse are in. Secret Wars is on the way. We've seen, I forgot to talk about that in Nifty Nerd News, the Deadpool 3 trailer, aka Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. And in there, if you're paying attention to the Easter eggs that they're showing you, there is a Secret Wars comic book laying on the ground next to Deadpool in one scene, which is where Marvel's heading. And that's where all these different universes, which Fantastic Four could be happening in a completely different universe. It doesn't have to be in the main Marvel timeline where they go out of time and come back like Captain America style. It could be in their complete own universe and then have to come to this universe. So like that's all possible and could be what's happening behind the scenes with Marvel Studios. We don't know, but it's all eventually going to come to a head, and all these characters are going to have to either work together to survive or destroy each other to save their planets and our universes. So this could be really interesting, really cool, and I'm excited to see what could potentially happen with all this. I don't know. It's exciting. But back to the Marvels. Like I've said before, and I mean, I don't want to go through the whole movie because I don't want to spoil it, because I think if you haven't watched it and you've just been listening to people online be angry about it or say it's not good, you need to watch it, because I guarantee it is nowhere near as bad as people think it is. It, to me, and maybe it's because I want to enjoy movies. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I want to enjoy a movie. So when I watch it, I have an open mind and an open heart to see. And to be honest, it's pretty easy to please me with a movie. I'm not one to try to overanalyze and be upset about things. I want to be happy and I want to enjoy. So, and this movie does exactly that. One, it's got my favorite character in the Marvel Universe, and they're actually really good. As far, like, if Robert Downey Jr. is the perfect Tony Stark, then Iman Vellani is the perfect Kamala Khan. And like that, like she is the Tony Stark of the Young Avengers. And That's actually a reference to something. So you got to watch the Marvels to get that reference. And then the other secret scene with Beast and the character that involves with that. So a lot of cool stuff with it. As far as the rating goes, though, this one is a positive charge, guys. You need to go watch it. Form your own opinions, please. But like I said, it's a fun time. It doesn't go slow. There is some Bollywood aspects to it in a way, so that's really fun and entertaining. It's something a little different than what Marvel's done, and so that's what I like about it, man. It's upbeat, it's happy, it takes a little bit of a chance, and I think honestly, the Marvels, while maybe to some shaky, it sticks the landing though. So definitely check it out. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I think you will too. With that being said, though, that's all that I have for you guys today for this episode of the Bry-Fy podcast. I appreciate so much that you came out to listen, you came out to support. And if you want to continue to support me in any way, shape, or form, you can always check out all my social media. That's Instagram, Threads, X, Twitch, YouTube. Everything is at Bry-Fy podcast. That's Bryfy podcast. Twitch is actually twitch.tv/the Bry-Fy, and that's, you can see me play video games. I open trading cards, and on YouTube you can see the highlights of the video games and the trading cards. So if you don't like to sit through like a 1 to 2 hour session of gaming or opening cards, always head over to the YouTube and you'll just get the quick hits there, which I think can be a lot more entertaining, and I add editing stuff to it, and so you can see like prices of some of the cards that I pull and stuff like that, and you'll see RJ come in and take over the microphone. Oh, it's Spider RJ. Hey, buddy, are you okay?
Yeah, okay.
Spider, you want to tell everyone bye? Can you tell them?
Bye, everyone.
Say we'll see you later.
And see you later.
All right, guys.
Airplane.
Oh, we're going to go fly an airplane? All right, guys. Bry-Fy out.